Narcissistic people can be some of the most infuriating people that you can ever deal with, only they don't recognise how their behaviour gets to you, or they don't really want to recognise how their behaviour gets to you, or at the very least they don't want you to recognise that it's their behaviour. They will go all out to wind you up, to cause that anger and resentment within you, to gain that reaction from you, and then they turn around and go, "Oh, why are you mad? Oh, what's wrong with you? I think perhaps you're the one that needs to calm down," as they play the victim all the more, which is even more infuriating because you can just not get them to see your point of view. They're not interested in your point of view. They're interested in manipulating you and exploiting you and using your emotional reactions against you to get their needs met by you. There are quite a few games that narcissistic people play that is going to cause that frustration within you, which is going to build up so that they can get that rise out of you. And this video is going to be about some of the narcissist's most frustrating behaviour, which naturally provokes those negative emotions and negative responses within you. And one of the first frustrating behaviours of a narcissist is they will not answer a simple question. They are very secretive people. They enjoy having all the control. They enjoy sabotaging you. They actually get a kick out of winding you up. As if they didn't get a kick out of winding you up, they would simply just answer a simple question. We're not talking about a question where you've called them out on something, where you've discovered something they have done that is immoral or wrong or hurtful in some way, which they get on the defensive and want to protect themselves. You can just simply ask them what time you're meeting. We can all have busy lives, we can all have busy schedules. With a narcissist, it's a repeat pattern where they'll not tell you, or they just keep putting things off. "Oh, we'll talk about it later. We'll see about that later." You can want to plan to go somewhere and they'll just not set a date. They'll just keep putting it off and off and off, and nothing ever gets sorted with them. And then when you decide to sort it for yourself, they get offended that you've sorted it for yourself and they're not included in the situation. Narcissistic people create conflict between people. And this is one of their most frustrating behaviours because they go all out to create conflict between others, and then they stand back and watch the show. They get pleasure out of being the puppet master between people's lives. They get pleasure out of isolating people from support. Another frustrating behaviour when it comes to dealing with a narcissist is when you do try to discuss things with them, when you do try to communicate with them and they're not interested in that communication, even though they'll blame you for the one who's causing all the problems. They'll turn around to you and say, "Do we have to discuss this now? You know I'm just on the way out." There is no good time to approach a narcissist who is unapproachable. There's no good time to ask a narcissist a question who does not want to answer that question. No matter how many times you try to pick when they're in a good mood, they'll accuse you of ruining their mood. When you're having a good day, they'll accuse you of ruining the day. They are not interested in having that communication with you. They'll find a way, usually, to frustrate you, to irritate you, to wind you up, to get you going, and then they'll wander off making noises at you, mocking you with noises, humming away to themselves. They'll have the last word and then walk off singing away to themselves, which naturally gets that rise out of you and that frustration out of you because you've got a build-up of emotions and opinions and thoughts and things that need to get organised that you can't get out, you can't express because they just put that wall up. Not only can you not get those things out, they walk off humming away to themselves or tutting at things that you're just, that inner rage is building within you, and then when you explode out at them, they turn around and go, "Oh, somebody's mad. Oh, someone's angry. Oh, what's wrong with you? Are you having a bad day?" When you were having a perfectly good day until you spoke to them, which is almost why when you try to discuss something with them of importance and they turn around and claim that you've ruined their day, you can think, oh, perhaps I shouldn't have brought that up. The thing is, with a narcissist, you can't bring anything up that isn't about them getting everything their own way, getting their needs met, getting something out of it. You can't bring anything up that isn't about the narcissist getting the supply that they require from you. Creating competition between people is another frustrating behaviour. Not only is it a frustrating behaviour, it also plants those seeds of doubt within you. It's like those positive affirmations in reverse. So they can simply play siblings off against each other. Oh, look at what your siblings done. Look at what your siblings achieved. Why can't you be more like? And it is repeated that often that it is verbal abuse. The child's mind is programmed to think these things about themselves from a very young age. We can all say stuff out of frustration. We can all say stuff when we've reached the end of our tether. We can all say things that we do not mean. However, with genuine people, it's a one-off and they instantly regret it as soon as it's gone flying out of their mouth. They can't take it back now. With a narcissistic person, they repeatedly compare people to other people, to shame people, to blame people, to ridicule people, to make people feel inferior so that the narcissist can feel superior. Rewriting history. We can all go to an event and we can all have a different perspective of how that event went. We can all see things from a different angle, a different point of view. Genuine people are usually willing to see it from another person's point of view, even if they stick to their own. Narcissistic people are only interested in their own, so they will repeatedly rewrite history on you, and they're not going to be interested in anything or any other way around this, to the point where you can literally experience something with them and know that they basically just sat down and watched TV and did absolutely nothing at all. And then when you're out and about with a bunch of strangers, the narcissist is telling that event as though the narcissist did everything you did and you the one sat down being lazy. And if you speak up, you're the one that sounds like you're causing the issues. Yet if you say nothing, it builds that resentment within you. So in some cases, you do need to have that healthy conflict. However, when you're dealing with a narcissist, if you call them out in front of people, this is going to humiliate them. This is going to criticize them, and they will usually try to find a way to punish you. So if you're going home with them, it's wise not to criticize them. Exaggeration. A narcissist will go all out to downplay anything you have ever done for them or deny all knowledge, yet they will exaggerate absolutely everything they have done for you, and they'll exaggerate these things to other people, that grandiosity within them, so that they can sell themselves as better than they are. Narcissistic people don't want to discuss what they did to you. However, they will happily exaggerate and play on your reactions, your perfectly normal reactions, because they're toying with your emotions. They're toying with your mind. They're getting into your headspace and brainwashing you to suit the narrative of the narcissist with their repeat phrases that they come at you with. Interrupting you. We can all get excited about something and interrupt somebody. We're all capable of interrupting people at times. Most genuine people will think, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, and then let the other person speak. With a narcissist, they interrupt you because if you're sharing some good news with them, they've always done far better than you because they believe they're superior than you. If you've suffered something horrific, they've always suffered far worse than you. So they're going to interrupt you and bring it back onto themselves. They have to stay 2 steps ahead of you. It's how they control the game and how they control their reality. And this can actually then go into when you're out and about with them. They can actually walk 2 steps ahead of you because they feel superior, because they feel in charge, or because there's people out there that don't know about you, so they don't want to be seen with you. Yes, we can all go somewhere and have a plan of action and want the people we're with to experience everything, so we can sort of take control and perhaps try and rush people along. We can have a child in a park and you know you've got to get them to an activity in 5 minutes and the child's got no interest in time, they're having fun, and you know the more you stand around waiting for them, the more that child's going to continue playing and ignore you because they don't fear you. So you can then start saying, I'm going to go now, and you can start walking away from them slowly to try and, it is manipulative, to try and place that fear into the child to get the child to come, even though you would never actually leave the child. We can all do things like that in life. However, the intentions behind that is to get the child to where the child needs to be. The intentions behind that isn't to manipulate the child to serve yourself. With a narcissist, it's all about manipulating another person to serve themselves, impressing strangers rather than taking care of their own family. There's a couple of ways around this. A narcissist can invite people over, and then for whatever reason the narcissist is sulking, so they sit there staring blankly at their phones, ignoring people, which is infuriating for you. And you can often then find yourself excusing their behaviour to other people and saying, oh, they've had a really long day, they've had a shocking week, or they've just had a bit of bad news, they need a bit of space. So you find yourself defending them to other people, which gives them the sympathetic attention because people then feel sorry for them. Or they can be like that on a daily basis, and then they invite people around and all of a sudden they're the life and the show of the home, and they're making food and making drinks and making jokes, usually at your expense. A narcissist will move on to a new source of supply that has children, and they'll go all out to be there for those children, to take those children out that aren't theirs, which sells an illusion to the person that they are with, that false belief that they're an amazing person and they're really helpful. After all, they're helping that person out. They're being there for children that aren't even their own, while they ignore their own children because they're not interested in taking responsibility for those children. With a narcissist, out of sight, out of mind. They're not interested anymore. Yet, so they don't have to take responsibility. They're going to blame the other parent. The other parent won't conform. The other parent won't allow them to see the children. And to a narcissist, it's true because the other parent is not allowing the narcissist to do exactly what the narcissist wants. So it's the other parent's fault. And as the narcissist is there doing everything for someone else's children, the reality they're selling to those around them, people believe the narcissist lies far easier than who the narcissist actually is and what they are capable of. People would more often than not rather believe that somebody would be bitter enough, a narcissistic person, to stop someone else from seeing their children, to stop their children seeing their other parent, than believe that a narcissist could abandon their own children. And as we do have narcissistic people who will stop the genuine parent from seeing their children, it's very difficult to recognise which one is which is when you have to look at patterns of behaviour. If they've got several children from several different people they are not allowed to see, there's a good chance that they are the issue. However, you can have somebody who has several children from multiple partners where those partners are not allowed to see the children because they have a history of dating those types of people. So what you have to look for is who takes responsibility for their own behaviour. and who passes responsibility and blames and shames everybody else. Take your time to get to know people for who they are and not who they sell themselves to be. Narcissistic people tend to be big know-it-alls due to their arrogance. They don't see any of their wrongdoings as the problem. They feel entitled to do as they please, and it's the people who called them out the problem. They don't recognise their own inadequacies. Go and ask a narcissist how to do something that doesn't know how to do something. They're going to go all out to make you feel stupid when you're not stupid. You simply just ask somebody who doesn't know how to do it, and rather than admit this, would rather make you feel daft when they're the one with the issue because they can't admit that they don't know something. Narcissistic people always have to be right, even down to they'll actually turn around and project onto you and say, oh, you always have to be right, don't you? And then they walk off humming away to themselves to frustrate you. This is often why that anger and resentment can build up, and you can actually find yourself reactive abuse, throwing things at them, but then you feel ashamed because you know you shouldn't do it. You question whether you're the abusive one. The narcissist goes around telling everybody that you're abusive, and you feel even more ashamed. They play the victim. Nothing's ever their fault. They're never in the wrong. It's always somebody else that's made life hard for them, which is why they never actually get out of that, because in order to improve yourself, you've got to be able to be responsible. And a narcissistic person doesn't want to be responsible. They want to blame somebody else. And as they forever blame somebody else, they lack the ability to take responsibility to work on where they could improve, to improve their life. They just go around playing the victim, blaming and shaming everybody else. If anyone has any thoughts on this video, please do add those into the comments. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.